Alex Villa for the Dutchland. Pog.
You able to see the stream by chance?
Yes.
I'm not gonna.
Stream.
I'm not gonna lie. When I got it from when we were in
watching
Cologne and I
Twitch.
got it, I was a little bit worried. I was like, wait, this doesn't have any ties, does it? And then because
No.
I bought it from like some shop like right off the street that was like, I don't know.
Here. I'm gonna move the camera down. Let me see how that looks. I'm waiting for the stream delay. Okay,
You
a
have
bit up.
you have a little bit
bit
like like your colors flashing.
Yeah, it's because this camera's cheap.
Ah,
Wait, why is the color flashing?
I don't know. It's fine now. You're good.
Now people can see our Germany stream.
This is awesome.
Hey, this
Alright.
will be good because I wanted to talk a lot about EU.
Let's do it. All right. Let me kick this off.
Alrighty.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Crossover Podcast, a special Germany version of the Crossover Podcast, apparently, because somehow we both have the bird logo. I'm not sure how we both ended up in this spot, but alas, here we are. Not going to complain. How you doing,
Yeah.
Paul?
Oh, pretty good. I mean, all I can think about right now is 7-1. So,
What is 7-1?
when Germany beat Brazil in the World Cup,
Oh, geez.
In
See, I don't
Brazil.
follow the World Cup all that much.
yeah, they beat them 7-1 in their hometown.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Did you get your
People were
shirt in
crying.
Germany by chance?
my grandma bought it in Germany.
Ooh, where at?
Couldn't tell you to be honest.
Oh.
I don't know.
This is so when we went over to Europe, we went to Amsterdam, we went to Brussels, we went to Paris, Cologne, and one other spot. And the only thing that I bought the entire time that we were over there, other than McDonald's and food, was this hat. It's the only thing that I have as a reminder of that trip. That was the only thing that I wanted from the start too.
That's awesome.
But there was a lot going on this weekend league. Like more
Oh.
storylines than I've remembered in quite some. Like I honestly think this has been the most entertaining week and going to be the most entertaining close to any split that we've seen in like the last 5 years. But kicking it off, EU fans were not happy at first when is it the boss? I never know how to pronounce his name correctly.
Yeah, the boss.
The boss. When he went on the LEC broadcast, people were very, very skeptical of whether he would do a good job or not. Personally, I loved it. Thought it was very entertaining. There was like one moment where like he said something like, "Okay, I want G2 to lose." That was like, okay, you can't say that while you're on stream. But beyond that, I thought it was pretty good. I don't know about you. Did you catch any of it?
No, yeah, I thought he was really funny. I watch the boss anyways. I watch him play Clash, and I watch his stream sometimes. And I mean, let's be honest. The only person who's truly mad about him being on there is one of the most toxic and shouldn't still be around people in LEC. Not gonna even name him. You all can figure it out on your own. But he's a terrible person. So I don't get why everyone was like jumping on it. I know Upset jumped on it too, but I don't think Upset meant it as hard.
No.
And the boss does int some games, so it was pretty warranted, some of it, to be honest. He does have a tendency.
I know very little about him at all. Like this weekend was actually the first time that I've ever heard his name mentioned, period. And
Yeah.
is his content more or less just like the similar to like old school Yasuo or like Night Blue, where it's just like him streaming games and that's it?
No.
Or is there more to it?
He is a Scion one trick.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he plays Scion.
And nothing but Scion.
Mainly Scion. He plays other things occasionally, but he mainly plays Scion. And here's the issue. He plays Scion a lot, and he popularized Lethal Scion, and he also popularized
The
Dying Scion.
inting Scion?
Yeah, Inting Scion.
That you just like run into
was-
towers and just destroy objectives
he
the entire
still,
time.
He still does. He still does to this day. If the boss has a bad game, I'll put it this way, double-digit deaths is easy if he's having a bad game.
Wow.
Like, easy. That man's death rate can get high quick, so I understand why pros hate him. He probably does ruin their solo queue, but he's also challengers, so I don't know
Coming
what to
from
say there.
somebody who watches his content, then, how do you think it blended in with the LEC?
Fine. I think he did pretty good. There are definitely some points where he like looked a little weird and he struggled, I guess. But I feel like overall they were doing a really good job directing him, and he was so good at free bullet. So I was
Yeah.
pretty happy there. And the fact that he like the part where they tried to get him to flame Promise Q, and then he didn't, was like really, really well done, I thought.
Yeah, the moments that I caught of him on the analyst desk seemed pretty good, but I felt like his strength really came when they were casting, and he just
Yep.
got to add these random little bits in there that, quite frankly, just made it pretty hilarious. Like there were moments where it was definitely forced a little bit. I think it was Dracos and Vedius that kind of like were egging him on a little bit, to the point where I was like, okay, you don't have to like intentionally provoke him as much or
Yeah.
like feed him in, but that also could be because of nervousness. Like they want to like kind of get him going a little bit, and he might be a little bit camera shy in that regard. But like, I don't know. I found it entertaining. Would I want it for playoffs? No, but this is regular season. Like if there's ever a time to bring
Yeah.
in content creators and other avenues and other sources of league gameplay to try and blend them into the competitive scene, that is the perfect way to do it. Like I think back to Tyler One with, was it 2018 spring finals? It was like the first finals after he
Yeah.
got unbanned, and like him and Freak played the All-Star match on stage, and like they brought him on the analyst desk twice. It was
Mhm.
hilarious.
And I think I think it's smart by them to bring on people at this time of year, because this is usually the time of year that you have lower viewership. Like, summer is just lower viewership in general
Yeah.
until playoffs. And if you're trying to get people to come back for playoffs, it's not a bad idea to start using the last 3 weeks to bring in influencers, because any little people you can drag back in are coming in at the best time of the year. Like, this leading into summer playoffs is really hype because everyone's trying to see who's going to Worlds from every region. We all want to know, and we all want to know what they look like. And we're almost to the last patch change for LCS and LEC, so this is pretty exciting. Like,
Yeah.
area.
Is there any content creator that you could really see coming into the LCS that you think would like do extremely well, other than Tyler One, because we already know that like he fits in well in
Yeah.
that environment?
Mm. Man, not really. Maybe Yasuo. I
That
mean, they
would
already
be
got
interesting.
Meteos, Sneaky, and Double if they could bring in occasionally.
Yeah, my mind
I know
wasn't
they're
really.
ex-pros though. They're not
That's the
really
thing, is like my
content.
my mind wasn't really like thinking about them, because it's like co-streamers are a little bit different because they're basically
Mhm.
already doing what like the analyst desk and everybody else does. So like obviously,
True.
there's no point of like bringing them in because they're already focusing on LCS content. But you
Yeah.
bring in somebody like who's the, is it Voyboy that's with FlyQuest now?
I don't know.
I forget who. I don't know. You bring in somebody who's like not as affiliated with the pro scene anymore, or at least like maybe not even at all, and
Mhm.
bring them in, and I think that makes a hell of a difference, because then you're bringing in a more casual audience, because you're not like all Doublelift fans. Well, not all of them, but I say like 95% of them are probably already gonna have watched the LCS or know about it. But you bring
Yeah.
in, I don't, I don't know any non-esports related esports content creator or league content. Who's the dude that
Chaos
does lore? Necrit. Imagine bringing somebody
Uh,
like Necrit in and like having him on the broadcast and like mixing in like esports and lore just for like one weekend. Obviously not long term. I feel like
mhm.
that'd be a lot because his audience is mainly casual. They care about the lore. They care about all that. So you mix
Yeah.
that in, and that's a different audience.
I mean, you could do like Forest Within. Uh, Probably not Charisma anymore because there's kind of some bad stuff going on around him.
Well, that
But
sucks.
definitely like I think guys like Forest Within, Sanchovies would be interesting.
Hmm.
Like,
Well, Sanchovies also has a reputation with LS as well, right? So like he's well known
yeah,
within At least the Twitch rivals
and
community.
Svenskeren. Yeah.
Yeah.
But those are the only people I can think of. Like, if you're trying to get a lead content creator who would push any numbers from
Yeah.
NA, like EU has so many. I mean, they haven't even asked Sardoc to come on, and that's a guy who gets 24,000 viewers in French alone. Like,
Yeah.
that's kind of insane. So, I mean, our best guy in NA is genuinely Tyler One, and honestly, as a huge Tyler One fan, been sub to him for over 2 years now. I can honestly say I don't think he's good to put around the community, if I'm being honest. I think the way he plays the game is pretty bad, and it has made the community not that fun the higher rank you get, because everybody tries to emulate his mental, and I just can't stand watching people type, this game doesn't really matter anyways, and then they just start inting. And I'm like, you're not Tyler One. You don't have all day to play. We both know that both of us have like 4 games in us today. How about you just try?
Yeah. And that's the interesting question that's always been around like Tyler One. I don't consider him saying like go next as bad, because he's not, with most people when you type that, they're getting off immediately afterwards. And like you're ruining the experience for him. Like, even though you're right that it's technically a bad example, because he is playing like 10 more games after that, it's not as big of a deal. Actually, Alex brings up a good point in chat. Bringing in Pokey could be interesting. I didn't even think about her.
Oh.
Because she is affiliated. She used to play League consistently. I don't even know if she still does.
Wow.
But she is massive. Imagine if the LCS broadcast brings in her.
Yeah,
That'd be nuts.
Genius. Yeah, Lily Peachy too. Wow. He's just spitting like good ideas. Genius.
Who's the girl that also just joined 100 Thieves? Fusely. I don't know. I don't know if she plays at all, but she has an affiliation with 100 Thieves now as well.
You could go. It would be actually pretty easy to get that whole group, because Broden Plett, who was the guy for Travis Gafford, like his creative guy, is now the creative guy for Offline TV as well.
Wow.
So you have an esport, like you have an LCS link. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How hard would it be for them to reach out to Broden? Like,
I can't imagine that hard.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I just thought of who I won on.
Who?
Courage.
That would be good. Yeah.
He was a color, for those that don't know that might be watching the VOD of this. Courage was a color caster for Call of Duty for years. Like, he is a phenomenal caster. You could bring him in to guest cast alongside Freak and Azale, and he would blend in perfectly. Like, that would go, and he knows a good bit about the League scene to the point where he would actually be able to blend in. His 100 Thieves bias might be a little bit heavy at first, but once he gets back into the swing of things, he'd be perfectly fine. And he brings like a level of entertainment and a very different audience than League normally has that would be incredible.
Oh, you know what we need, actually?
You're about to say Ninja?
No.
Damn.
We need Courage and Myth.
Oh, that'd be good.
Just give me both. Give me both. Put Courage and Myth up there and let them pop off for like 30 minutes. Let them do a TSM 100 Thieves game. Like, just some side thing. I don't care. Do an alt stream. You could do an alt stream or something. And that would be hilarious content.
Nah, hell, put them on the mainstream. Like, let it be a TriCast for, because TSM and 100 Thieves play next Friday.
Them with Captain Flowers.
Yes, that'd be amazing. Captain Flowers would bounce off of them so well.
Yep. Oh man.
And that'd be great for League viewership as well.
They'd hate it though. I mean, the normal casters would hate it.
I mean, they would and wouldn't. Like, I don't think they'd mind, because like they're not losing their jobs. Like, it's not like anything's coming in to like replace them or anything. Like, it's a one-off thing to increase viewership, and that's what we all want. So why would they not be fans of that?
Yo, I would, but I don't know if they'd ever do it. I mean, I wish they would. Ninja, though, when you said Ninja, I thought of him earlier, and I didn't say him because I was like, that's my greatest fear. That, like, we say all these cool ideas, and then Riot goes, you know who we need? Ninja, dude. And they bring in Ninja, and the whole, like, chat is like, this is a dead game. Ha 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 ha. Go play Fortnite.
I don't watch it with chat anyway, so I'm perfectly fine. I'm clear.
I watch it with chat. I need it.
So, to slightly move this on, because I do want to get to the LCS.
Yeah,
Are you playing Clash this weekend by chance?
Maybe. Yeah, I'd like to.
So I can play with you on Sunday, and I might pull you in on Saturday if I can't find a fifth for this reason. We have 4 of us officially so far that are going to play Clash in person at OSNYC this
Ooh.
weekend.
Aren't you fucking cool?
Yes, I am. Thank you very much. You know,
What?
What a moment! What a moment! Oh my goodness. That was classic.
that's what I was saying.
That's what you get for the TSM
Nothing,
clip
May.
you put on TikTok. That's what you get.
You know what? That clip is going on TikTok, by the way. Just so you know, that is going to be the one from Raw. You yelling at me that I suck is all. So
That's funny.
yeah, so we have 4 of us going to OSNYC on Saturday. Probably going to show up around like 7:30. I'm excited to make some content around kind of showing off the place there. And finally start getting New York City's League of Legends presence back a little bit. And we also have a viewing party that was just announced for next Friday for the
Wow.
TSM 100 Thieves game at OSNYC. But the crazy thing I was going to tell you was one of the guys that's going to be playing with us this weekend. I was coming back from Target, and we hear somebody yell out, "Hey," from behind us. And it's like a lot of times in New York City, like homeless people will come up to you when you're outside like a convenience store or grocery store and like ask you like, "Hey, can you buy me toilet paper?" or something like that. Like a lot of times you'll just go in, buy them something, and they'll be on their way. I turn around and it wasn't a homeless guy. It was this guy kind of our age-ish. And he's like, "Hey, are you that league guy from TikTok?" I was like,
Whoa.
"What the hell?" I was like, "Yeah." So we chat for a few minutes. I grab his number. We actually just grabbed dinner yesterday and chatted for like 2 hours at a bar, just
Wow.
talking League of Legends life. He does the socials for UC Irving and is on an internship here in New York. He's also now going to be playing on our team tomorrow at OSNYC.
If you couldn't figure it out already, David likes to brag about himself.
I'm not bragging about it. It's a cool story. He's going to be playing with us in person.
Pretty neat. What's
It
his
is.
rank?
He's playing on a Smurf account.
I'm just kidding. It's a great thing. It's cool. Good for
Thank
you.
I think Plat, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah,
I just like to mess with you. You know that.
I
He's
know.
gonna carry your team.
Well, remember that guy? Remember the other kid that was really good, Sean Koo, that played with us once?
Yeah.
He's playing with us as well.
Yeah, your team's gonna be tier 1.
So we're looking pretty good going into this. But yeah, I just wanted to share. It was a small
Rico
world.
playing?
Yes, Rico's gonna be our top lane.
Awesome.
So it's gonna be me, Rico, Sean, Ayush, and then I'm looking for a support still. But if I can't find one by Friday, would you
I'll
be
do
down
it.
to play? No, you're not doing it.
I'll do it.
No, you're not doing it.
Hey, I'll do it.
Smudge. He's gonna replace me with an IRL. I can't beat that.
I want to give the opportunity to somebody in real life, if possible.
Me.
Well, yeah, you should. It'd be cool.
Wait, who are you even talking to?
I'm talking to Paul, and we're live on the podcast.
I know. That's why I like to mess with you more.
Anyways, Jesus. Okay, let's go to the LCS. So that you can cover my ass if Emily
Yeah.
comes in and starts dancing on the side of the screen, which great for views, not great for continuity of conversation. The first message that I got from you this past weekend, mid matches, was quote. I want to read this word for word just so people understand the mood that Paul was in. He said, "That actually pissed me off. TSM is just playing like bitches. Have some amount of aggression. All that being said, FlyQuest is fun to watch. Just pissed at TSM as a whole." It has now been 2 games since you went on your little mini rant against TSM. How you feeling,
Yeah.
buddy? You're still in second.
Well, my thing that bothered me was First off, the fact that I don't want to flame the man, but Lost getting hit by a Rakan W when the ult was already down from Rakan, he wasn't charmed. He just got hit by a Rakan W with flash up on Aphelios was kind of cringe. Like actually cringe. The fact that they're second place in the league like hurt my soul. I was like, dude, this is our second best allegedly. Like this is our second best team's AD carry. Like that's what he is.
He's definitely
And
not the second best ADC, to be clear. But
no, but he's the second best team's AD carry. He's good enough to beat every other one.
yeah,
Like he's good enough to get the job done. That's should be a little worrying, I'd say. And I mean, it was like, and then yeah, they threw again, but it was like more of them just getting picked off, and it looked like they were tilted. And we've already talked about the fact. I don't want to talk for hours about how we already know TSM gets once one thing goes wrong, they just tilt and end.
yeah.
But it was just really weird to watch. I mean, the next two games were really good games. Like they were pretty clean, and they managed to win everything they needed to win and did it the right way. So I can't be too mad there. I mean, their game against TL was kind of nice. Like I enjoyed it. They played fairly well. They managed to get around the map. It's just weird though. Like yeah, I've seen the TSM Legends, Alex. They were, I mean, it's kind of the same thing every week. It's just Bjerg saying that the team has to get better in these areas, but I think everybody knows mechanically they're not going to get any better. So
Good old documentary series. Even TSM Legends is now boring as hell, and just the same crap over and over and over again.
yeah,
It's like,
I mean, I still watch it.
I mean, yeah, most of us that are like diehard League fans will still watch it, but it's like it's not
Yeah.
it's not gonna attract any new people to watch it
No.
at all.
No.
I'm a little bit worried about TSM. It just feels like the broadcast harps a lot on their identity being late game scaling, but it still feels like even when they have the scaling advantage, or even whenever they're ahead late game, like it's still very passive with everything that they do.
Yeah.
Like it's people said that 100 Thieves were capitalizing on teams' mistakes, and that's where they were getting the majority of their wins, especially in mid game. It felt like TSM was even more of that. And that's why now, as teams like EG come up and are more aggressive and more assertive in the mid game, like you really start to notice it a lot more. I feel like TSM is the biggest victim of that. But going into this upcoming weekend, it's like they directly play EG, and then they also play Cloud9, who realistically needs. They don't need to win.
Something.
Yeah,
They need some. I think
don't-
they are in must-win territory. Like, but not because of playoffs, but more because they need confidence. Like I'm less worried about TSM than I would be for a Cloud9 fan.
I don't need Fudge getting any more goddamn confidence because the man's already playing off this freaking planet. So if he
Yeah, he
gets
plays
more
really well.
confidence, then oh god, we're all in trouble. Like he is dominating top lane in the same way that not in lane, but overall dominating top lane the same way that Alfari was last split. And I don't feel like people are talking about that as much. But the problem is everybody else around him is not great.
No.
The issue for Cloud9 is they have games to make up. So realistically, if TSM loses to EG, which in current form I would predict EG over TSM, Golden Guardians, I'm assuming they'll win. If they lose to Golden Guardians, that's yikes. I would pick TSM over Cloud9 for now. But realistically, Cloud9 has to win that game to make up the gap. Because if Cloud9 wins their first two games and TSM loses to EG, that is your battle right there for the second seed.
Yeah. And Alex mentioned the playoff buff for like if C9 doesn't start winning, it won't kick in. I would venture to say in summer C9 never has a playoff buff.
Oh, agreed.
Like
Hard
they just
agree.
don't. Like that's my thing. Like people keep. I mean, I saw a tier list last week on LCS, and I'm not gonna lie, it made me chuckle a little, just because of the way it was. Like their power ranking, it had TSM in 7th, like every single one. They were like 100 Thieves, EG, TLC9 were both above them. FlyQuest was above them, and I forget who the other team was above them.
Golden Guardians.
Yeah, I think Golden Guardians was above them in a couple. And I was like, really? Like, is this like? I get they're not playing great, but like, at what point
No,
is the
it's-
meme a little too far?
I would realistically
Like-
put TSM at.
My,
I would put, in terms of tiers, I'd put EG at S tier. I'd put 100 Thieves at S minus, and then I put both TSM and Cloud9 at A plus tier,
yeah.
and then TL at like A minus, and then everybody else at like C.
Well, didn't EG lose to 100 Thieves this weekend?
No, they didn't play that. So EG plays
Oh.
100 Thieves.
Oh, okay.
They play
'Cause-
them
oh
next.
no, EG 3-0, didn't they?
No, they lost their first game.
Oh, who they lose?
They chucked a game to hang on, let me look it up. But
I need to know.
it was their one loss in like I think 9 games.
Yeah, I just know
They're
it was a
8-1.
bad loss. Yeah.
They lost on Friday. They lost to Golden Guardians.
Yeah.
But then
no, the
EG
game... What? Sorry.
They lost to Golden Guardians, and then they beat FlyQuest, and then they beat Dignitas.
Mhm.
So they had a relatively easy week and still went 2-1.
I think this week is big for EG to like. I think beating TSM would help prove where they're at.
Yeah.
The thing that I feel is weird. It's always going to be this way for TSM, right? Because they're a big org and they get higher expectations. I would venture to say that if EG wins this game, it means a lot more for them than if TSM wins.
Yes, 100%.
TSM honestly gains nothing winning. Like, and I like this position for TSM because when they're an underdog, it kind of helps. It's a little better when they're not getting overhyped. The players don't feel as much pressure, I'd say, because whenever they're overhyped, like usually the players just get told all the time, like every small mistake they do is just brutal, and that I think it's a little better in the spot they're in. My fear is when you watch other regions' ADCs, the fact that TSM is this high up with Lost is just a little weird to me. Like, I don't
Yeah.
think Lost is playing very well, and I don't see how NA has 3 teams to send. If I'm being honest, I don't see how our third team looks any good.
I mean, to be fair, that's been the case every year for God knows how long.
Yeah,
Like, it's always been the top 2 teams stand a chance, and then the third one never did. With the exception of last year, where
yeah,
the TSM is the first seed, arguably we knew would be the worst,
yes,
despite FlyQuest and Team Liquid being second and third seed. But there's always one team that we know going into it is just going to be horrible.
yeah.
And it feels like if 100 Thieves can close out the split solid, which I've seen enough from their games to not be worried about them dropping games in like a very worrying fashion from here on out. I
Yeah.
feel like once they solidify, I mean, they already started doing it by the end of the week, but just like solidify your drafts, finally stick with a style, because they've been experimenting a little bit and playing a little bit recklessly as well, given that they are first seed. But like, solidify that up and they're fine. EG, if they beat TSM, then I fully buy into the faith.
Mhm.
Beyond that, if TSM wins that, that's a 2-game gap over literally okay. If 100 Thieves beats Cloud9 on Friday and TSM beats EG, then you would have a 2-game gap. Sorry, a 2-game gap.
Yeah,
No, 3. Because you would so there's a 3-game gap between TSM and 100 Thieves and the teams below them. 4-game gap for 100 Thieves, but the point is 3-game threshold. That's massive.
Yes.
With only 5 games remaining, you're fine.
and TSM plays Cloud9 Sunday.
Yeah.
So if they can beat them again, Cloud9 goes 1-2. I mean, we're looking at another bad week for Cloud9. You're just adding insult to their injury at this point. And it's weird to say, but I would say the way I've been looking at it is 100 Thieves definitely is one of my top tier teams. I still think EG in a best of 5 is going to be a little weird.
Agreed.
I don't think they'll be able to get away with as much as they do now. I definitely think the way 100 Thieves and TSM play in best of 5s will be a bit nicer. and I think TL will surprise in a best of 5 because they're a bit slower. But I do think TL, there's a clear skill discrepancy right now for them
Yeah.
in their jungle.
Yeah.
It is not good. It is very bad. No flame to Grig, but he's just getting beat up by good jungles. Like Spica and Closer, arguably the two best in the league right now.
Will tear him to
Like,
shreds. So
yeah, are just eating him alive.
I would even throw Sven Skaren in there.
Yeah,
Sven Skaren's not
Svenskeren
playing
too.
amazing, but he's playing solid enough to the point where
Yeah,
Greg's in trouble.
yeah. And if Santorin comes back, he's been out for so long. I
He's
don't
not.
know if.
No,
Yeah, I
San-
just
San-
don't think he is. I mean, I don't either. I'm just saying if he did, like in some fantasy world,
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't see how he comes back and he's able to handle this load. Like that's a
Yeah.
big load to carry. And
So-
yeah,
So then going into this weekend,
hmm
what's your guess? Do you think, because realistically, if the results go as planned, we could have the top two teams in TSM and TSM and 100 Thieves more or less locked in after this, because there could be a 3-game gap minimum with 3 games to go. Do
Yeah.
you think that happens, or do you think this is going to be do you think it is going to come down to the wire?
I think it'll come down to the wire for sure.
Really?
I don't think NA is an. I don't think you can actually call anything in NA. That's my biggest issue. And I also want to mention FlyQuest early game against good teams this weekend was not pretty.
No.
Don't think they're going to be making the noise I was hoping they would. So we can take that narrative and chuck it out, I guess. And now basically, I think we're stuck with the same old, same old. We have some big orgs, 100 Thieves, TSM, that are going to be looking good for playoffs. EG isn't very big. They're probably the most, like, small org you could get behind, because 100 Thieves may be new, but they're not small, that's for sure.
No.
And we're going to get this 100 Thieves TSM battle, I think. I mean, that's what it's looking like. EG, though, this weekend, if EG can impress, then,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we're all going to be like, oh man, they're doing it. Like, EG is that dude. But EG has to prove it in playoffs, too, because in playoffs they fall apart.
Here's my thing, though. Like, with the way the schedule works out, it is so important to get one of those first 2 seeds. You have to win a single best of 5 in Europe Worlds. That's all you have to do, and that's what made Cloud9's falter last summer even more insane. So if you're EG and you 3-0 this weekend, you have a 1-game gap at worst case scenario with TSM, and you play 100 Thieves going into it, and 100 Thieves has to beat TSM on Friday next week, because for those that don't know, it is 2-2 in the overall record between TSM versus 100 Thieves. If 100 Thieves loses this, not only do they lose first place, but they also lose the tiebreaker permanently to TSM. So this is a massive, massive game between the two of them next Friday.
Yeah, assuming they both can have a good weekend.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, is still tough to call, because I would say no team right now looks 100% convincing. I mean, EG looks really good, and I know everyone is in love with EG. I just don't trust them, and I feel like that is fair to say.
Yeah.
Because they've always proven themselves to falter, and still, they've been winning some games where they've been looking just as finicky as 100 Thieves and TSM get hated for, I would say. Like, because 100 Thieves gets a lot of hate for some reason for not winning as hard as they should, and so does TSM. And 100 Thieves, I would say, wins pretty hard for a team that gets as much hate as they do.
Yeah.
Like,
I will say, I actually do like the criticism of the team coming as a fan. It's odd because you would think that, like, oh, the second they get on top, why is everybody shitting on them? Like, Emily Ram made the point perfectly, where it's like, now that they are on top, we want to see them in peak condition going into Worlds. And the expectation is no longer hey, let's hope they get the Worlds. The expectation of them is now you are going to be at Worlds. You need to be ready going into it. So I'm fine looking at it through the lens of like their mid-game shot calling is not great. And they can't play from deficits all that well. But at the end of the day, I can look at that, but still objectively also be happy with where we're at as a team. Like, I'm not one of those fans that's just going to sit there and focus on the negative.
No, I agree. I mean, I won't either. It's just I'm really hoping we can see LCS look crazy good in playoffs or something. I need something to give me hope, because I know we'll build copium as Worlds comes.
Oh,
You and I are really
yes,
good
we
at that.
will.
But I just don't like what I'm seeing from NA right now. I don't love it.
I
do not love it.
I don't, but like I haven't also been impressed by the LEC all that much either. Like not to the same extent as prior years, which segueing it into that and the Germany boys. Did you watch Reckless Flash Int? Because I did.
Yeah. Can I take back what I said last week?
Yeah, you can.
We just that rewind. I would also like to take back. I'd like to also amend what I said about TSM. I love you all. Please don't hate me. I'll take any free merch you give me. The new line is cool. There's my plugs. Thank you.
Note TSM is copying the core line from the Essentials line from 100 Thieves, but I'm not saying it. But whatever.
Hey.
It is what it is. I don't know. What do you think about G2 Fnatic though? Because as of right now, with the standings and how everything is looking, that may or may not have been the preview of the finals.
Yeah. Wasn't a good game, if I'm being honest. I mean, Fnatic won, but I would say if you're an LEC fan, aren't you a little worried that Bwipo just hardens and that the team that has the Inter just wins anyways?
Yes and no, because like that's 90% of the LPL though.
I guess it's true, but like the LPL, I think LPL inting is a little different. They int to like get objectives and stuff. Bwipo was just literally dying. And then Fnatic's bottom lane was like, well, guess we'll just beat them harder because our jungler is dead weight. And we have to carry him. So...
To be fair, Bwipo has actually been phenomenal this split.
No, he has. I don't want to flame him. And Fnatic looked really good that game, I would say, because, like, genuinely, there was little things they were doing that were really cool. Like, the Bwipo ult that they allegedly said was int in the last team fight was apparently to get the Diana to R so that she would waste it and or Upset could free hit the rest of the fight. And I didn't even, like, think about that. And I think that's really cool. Like
that's
a very neat thing.
See, that I like. Like once again, that's one of those things where it's like, even though we're not thinking about it, like there is a legitimate reason for it. Which that is different from the LCS where it's like, okay, even though we didn't know it on the surface, it always comes out later. It's like, yeah, there was a reason for it, which I like.
Yeah. I mean, they were playing really well. Obviously, people that are blaming the pauses are just boring humans.
Yeah.
Like, yes, the pauses mess with tempo, but your team they're professionals. This is their job. That's what they're paid to do. If tempo is the only thing that helps them win the game, then at some point they gotta just step up a little bit. I do understand that pauses suck, and I don't want to like flame G2 because I like them, and I would say definitely though, I'm not out on G2 completely. You know what I mean?
I don't know if I'm out on G2 or if I'm just out on every other team in the LEC right now. Like, the fact that G2 looks like the second best team in the league, despite everything going on. Like, obviously we knew they would rebound, and that's fine. But the way it just flipped so quick, where it's like Rogue, good, but eh.
Yeah.
G2, eh, but good. Misfits falling off the face of the planet. Mad Lions, not great. Like people keep saying that, oh, their team fighting is great and they'll turn it around. I haven't seen anything to suggest that yet.
Nope.
Like, until it happens in the same way with Cloud9, nah, I'm not going to believe it till I see it. So right
Yeah.
now, in my mind, Fnatic is the best team in the West, and G2 is right behind them, despite the records not obviously indicating that 1-for-1.
And something I noticed in this game that had me thinking was I liked that earlier we brought up the LPL like ints in that way was Fnatic is the only team in LEC that seems to be able to handle G2's insanely aggressive style, right? And it actually turns it on him and gets some really good advantages.
Yeah.
And especially with Adam. I mean, that
Adam
dude
is insane.
He's crazy. I mean, that kid is good. Like I don't know how EU does it. Like how they just pull these kids out off the street and they become superstars overnight. But good for Fnatic.
They share DNA with General Sniper and Viper's parents. That it all just translates over. We just got one set of parents in America, whereas they got the rest of the family over there. Like they just pump out superstars like it's nothing.
Yeah. And I mean, like, my thing with Fnatic is as far as Worlds goes, because that's what everyone looks to this time of year. I mean, obviously you want to win your region too, but they might be one of the few teams that can make some noise because of just how they eat pressure.
Yeah.
And put it back on you. Like, an Upset is a really good ADC. Like, Upset is proving himself, and Hillsong is still Hillsong. I mean, he's really good at times, and he's int at times. But going with what you said earlier, like, that is what LPL does too. Like, there is a real chance I could see Fnatic making a deep run with the way they do things and the way they operate.
I think Fnatic is the only team from the West right now that I like legitimately see contending with the LPL, because it feels like I'm not as high on the LCK yet. I haven't watched enough games. I will watch more in playoffs, but I still don't think the LCK style can handle the LPL style, which with Europe adapting to it and Fnatic and G2 playing more like the LPL than the LCK, I just think the LCK is in trouble unless they match up against North American teams. Then
everyone other than Damwon, at least, can we?
Even Damwon has fallen off relative to where they were.
I know
in spring.
They're still really, really quick. There's something about Showmaker that I think he'll be fine.
I agree, but it's like
it's
like when you look at Worlds though. If this was MSI, I'd agree with you. It's an easy final for them. That's no problem. But there's a world where they get second in their group at Worlds and they're facing against any LPL team. And I can see them losing to literally any of them.
True.
Like, they're not at that status anymore where like they're
first and
yeah. Or like I could see them losing to Fnatic, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Like Fnatic on it, like Mad Lions nearly beat them at MSI.
Yeah.
And Mad Lions, I still don't think had like the greatest style for international play. Now imagine throwing Fnatic there against a weaker Damwon.
That's gonna be an interesting game though, because you're talking about just an absolute bodying in the mid lane and the bottom lane.
Yeah.
Like Ghost and Barrel are gonna get destroyed by Upset and Hilly, right? But Niski against Showmaker is gonna be like cool.
But if there's one thing that Niski has done for all of his career, it's just absorb pressure. That's all he's ever done. And Adam keeps up in top lane, 100%. Jungle is a little bit of a question mark. Like jungle is the only role where it's like, okay, we don't know what to expect from Blippo at an international level. And we will not know until that first group stage game where he gets subbed or when he goes in and either just absolutely destroys or ints. And there's going to be no in between. But we will know instantly whether he'll be able to keep up or not. If he can keep up, Fnatic wins that series 3-0 over Damwon.
My only worry is him having to learn how to jungle against a guy as good as Canyon while his mid lane is going through what he's going to be going through. Because Niski can absorb pressure, but like Caps showed it, and I think Showmaker is better than Caps. So if you're a really good mid laner, you can get him to crack a little bit.
Yeah.
Like if you're good enough. So I am interested to see how Niski does on the bigger stage, but I've always been a little tough on him, so I guess I can dial it back a bit.
Yeah.
I'll
I
give
am.
it to you. I need to slow it down.
I don't know. Like I did not get this feeling last year when G2 was crumbling and you could
Very
tell like
true.
they were starting to fall apart. Like I didn't have as much faith in them. I legitimately have faith in Fnatic to make a very deep run at Worlds. Potentially,
Sure.
I'm not saying they win. I don't think they get that far. But Fnatic in current form, if they keep building off of this, I think has the potential to make finals.
Yeah, as deep as they can make it, if especially if they can get a good bracket that avoids like the top Chinese team.
Yeah, if they avoid whoever's the number 1 seed coming out of China till the
Yeah.
finals, then they're fine. But obviously, Worlds brackets are just it's
Yeah.
whatever happens
No.
happens.
Worlds is still using a pretty old form of group stage as well.
I
So
well, okay,
I like it.
I want to table this
But it is-
discussion for like our podcast go like right after finals
True,
in the
true,
break between worlds. But I'm 100% with you where it's like I know a lot of people complain about it, but I absolutely love the worlds format. And I know I'm in the minority
Yeah, 'cause
opinion
it's
on
fun
that.
to watch. It's
Exactly.
fun to watch.
But you have any other topics on the LEC that you want to hit on before we move to Asia?
I think we've hit the good stuff, like the stuff we want to hit. And I don't really feel a big need to go deep on Rogue and Mad until they do something that's like actually interesting. I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, they only worry me a little bit because like Rogue for some reason just hates beating like great teams when
Yep.
they're in form. Like they just hate doing it. It's like for some reason it's torture for them.
They're
And-
allergic to it. They just can't. They start
Yeah.
sneezing halfway down the stretch. Vander
Yeah.
unplugs his keyboard and there's nothing he could do.
But they're a really good team, so maybe they can. Maybe they
Yeah.
can. Maybe I'm wrong. And Misfits, the hype seems to be dead. It was a good run, Misfits.
They
Bless
went from
you.
they went from the
You
happy
did
bunny.
your choice.
They went from the happy bunny to like the evil bunny. Like, have you seen the comparison
Yeah.
of like the old Misfits logo versus the new one? The new one's like straight
Yeah.
out of a horror movie. Yeah, they've officially gone to their new logo.
Yeah, we'll hold a moment of silence for them in playoffs.
That we will.
They get knocked out.
When they
And, like,
inevitably
if
go out
they
like fifth.
make playoffs. Yeah.
No,
assuming they make playoffs.
they will make playoffs. I have faith in that.
They
But
should.
when they go out
They
fifth, we'll
should.
take a good like 3 seconds of silence for the 3-0 that they will inevitably
Yeah.
receive.
And I just want to remind everyone, we weren't fooled.
Nope.
We have never been fooled. We've been saying for a while their time is coming. And it was probably gonna be a fun run, but it was gonna be a tough decline. And that's what we're watching now.
It's that meme of like the Grim Reaper going to like different doors and like you could see like the trail of blood from like the 3 different kills. Is like, okay,
Yeah.
we checked off the vitality hype mark. We weren't on that board. I forget there was one other team that started off like really hot. I think it was like Astralis or something like that. It's like we weren't on that hype train, and now the final
Yeah.
one to fall of Misfits has finally done it. It's complete. The final door is unlocked. Everybody's dead. We're good. The old guard is back. The legends are there. EU gets to keep its narrative and recycle it year over year. We're good.
Yep. And we, yeah, it was Astralis because they went 2-0 week 1 or 3-0 week 1, and we both went, that's not gonna happen.
Yep. By the way, I just realized that the overlay that I have, I need to update because it says twitch.tv/DavidShana, and we're no longer on Twitch. So,
True. Hi,
I'm-
Zebra. He's in chat.
how's it going, Zebra? Hope you're doing well. Hope you have that NA copium or you're ready to inject it back in your veins.
I'm gonna be honest. I bet Zebra doesn't even watch.
I think Zebra
Why would
watches.
he?
I think
Does he
does.
really? I hope he does.
I think he's not as much anymore, I don't think. But I think
Yeah,
he
if
still
watches,
does watch.
he just has to be depressed the whole time. Like,
Yeah.
right.
So anything we want to go over on the LCK or LPL? Because I do got to cut this immediately at 10:31 because I really have to go to the bathroom, and I'm only gonna make it until
okay.
10:30. And 2, I have to let the dogs out. But is there anything
Okay.
you really want to go over? Because I did not watch anything from these 2 regions.
The only thing I wanted to really mention was keep your eyes out because RNG is back.
Are they?
They beat EDG in a series this week.
Really?
EDG is the #1 team, yeah.
Yeah. So EDG is 10-2. Fun Plus Phoenix in second at 9-3. LNG 8-4. Holy, where RNG's all the way in 11th. Oh, but their
Yeah,
playoff
yeah.
bracket is massive though.
It's 10 teams.
Yeah, so they'll be
So
fine. They'll get in.
Yeah. Well, they still got to squeeze in though. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a real thing.
I mean, they have a ton of time. Like they've only played 10 games, whereas other teams have like for example, OMG has played 12, Top has played 10, Billy is 12. So they have 2 games that they can instantly jump up to 6th place after just winning those 2
Yeah.
games.
But
So
they
they're
2
fine.
ODGs, so that's the big thing. Like,
Was it
they
more
didn't just
EDG?
beat 'em, they, like-
Was it EDG playing bad though, or was EDG on form and RNG just smashed them?
No, RNG looked really good. Like, RNG looked really nice. I mean, Gala was looking really good, and Cryan and can't remember their jungler's name, Guay, I think, was looking
Yeah.
really good, and Zhao Hu is looking incredible as always. So
Okay.
weird how good he is at top lane and mid.
So we just got done talking about buying into the hype, and we called it early. Are you buying in to the RNG hype fully? Like, are you willing and comfortable right now to say that RNG is going to Worlds?
Ooh.
You have to buy into the hype early.
I have to buy in now.
You have to buy in now. You have to either say yes or no. Like they are
Dude.
100% going to Worlds or not.
Oh yeah, they have 4 seeds.
Yeah.
Sure, why not? I'll say they'll go to Worlds.
So you're saying you're not confident in WE or LNG to choke it? Because from what I've heard, everybody's confident in FPX and EDG to make it.
Yeah, FPX, EDG, and no, I am confident in LNG.
Okay, so it's WE that you think
LN
loses it.
No, WE, Rare Atom, JDG, Suning, right? Those
Yep.
are like the teams under them, I would say, that are teams that I really like. Billy Gaming is pretty good, but I don't know. I like the rest a little more. And I would say I think RNG can beat them all to make it. That's how I'll put it. I don't know if they can win LPL the split. Do I think they can make a run? Possibly. Because if any team can put a run in,
Yeah, it's
gonna
RNG.
be those boys. Yeah, they just look nice. But there's a chance they don't make it. I mean,
There's a
there's
chance
always
that
that
100
chance.
Thieves doesn't make it. Like you can't lock in
True.
anything, but all we know is whether you can buy into the hype or not. And
Yeah,
Paul has
I
officially
can
bought
buy
into the
in.
hype.
I'm bought into their hype. I'm very bought into Fun Plus Phoenix's hype. I don't know if you saw the game where I'm just gonna say this. Do and B got 25 stacks.
Oh,
on
yeah.
Energize.
Yeah, I
so
watched the
fucking-
highlights from that one.
Yeah, they're a different team right now.
Dang.
EDG is still really good. Just because they lost to RNG doesn't make them bad.
Yeah.
And LNG, I can just watch them all day.
You really like them?
I really like them.
Okay.
Really like them. Mainly because I like their jungler. But that's. a
I'm
whole nother story.
excited
He's
'cause-
Tarzan from Griffin.
Oh, really? Oh shit.
Yeah.
I am 100% committed to watching all of the LPL and LCK playoffs. I'm gonna watch every
Yeah,
series and
sure.
make it a point to make sure that I see all of it because
At least try to watch highlights, I'd say.
No, I want to watch the entire series. I'll be able to at work,
Oh wow.
so it shouldn't be a problem.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, and I put in this week to ask, but it's looking pretty good.
I was about to
We're
ask
gonna
you,
get
is
to
Uncle
order
Sam in our
live.
favor?
Yeah, he's looking in our
Let's
favor.
go. So
We're gonna get to do him live, I think.
what I'm thinking about doing, and I'm not 100% certain how this will work yet, we can either do it from my place or we can go down to OSNYC and rent out their streaming studio and have like a professional setting for the podcast and like do it there live.
That'd be pretty cool.
I feel like that'd be a blast.
That would be really fun.
But
To be honest.
I'm still trying to see what all events are going on that week as well. But
Yeah, we'll figure it all out.
any other closing remarks before I literally crap my pants?
No, I can't think of anything else. Just go TSM. They're probably the greatest org ever made, and buy their merch. Core
Shut
merch
up.
released.
Shut up.
Plugging them.
It's
Please send me
copy.
free merch.
No,
Thank
it's
you.
copying 100
Thank you.
Thieves. We want 100 Thieves merch. Send us a Gucci bag. That will sell better on the secondary markets. No,
I just
stop
wanna speak
cheesing.
this.
Don't
I want to
cheese.
speak a signed jersey.
I already tried getting you a jersey and it didn't
Speak
work.
I'll
You're
have
the worst.
speaker.
Oh, since you are formally coming to finals, let's place a bet. A formal bet.
Whoa. Whoa.
I thought about this, and this is my last thing I'll say before we go. If 100 Thieves beats TSM next week, you buy me a 100 Thieves jersey at finals. If TSM wins, I buy you a TSM jersey at finals. Or even just a drink. Or even a drink.
I don't want to be a fake fan, but
Fine, I'll drop it down to $5.
jerseys are $100, my friend, and I'm unemployed.
I'll drop it down to $5.
$5.
$5.
I mean, let's do the jersey. Fine.
Nah,
How about-
I'm
okay.
dropping it to $5.
No. Jersey, but let's make it who wins, who goes farther in playoffs.
Deal. That's a fair deal.
Yeah. This weekend though is for a drink. I'll buy you a drink.
I'm
100
down.
Thieves wins.
And the loser, okay,
week.
it's for a shot, and the loser has to take, or the winner gets to take the shot when we're doing the podcast live.
Yeah.
That'll be good.
That's a good idea. Hey, this guy. Wait, Alex just said it's a $50 TSM jersey. And 100 Thieves is 100.
Yeah, it's called better quality and
Have I
actually
been
being a
scammed?
clothing org.
I've been scammed. Okay, buy me a custom one is all. Buy me a speaker jersey when
Yeah.
they go farther in playoffs. Because
Yeah.
they're just better.
We'll see how that goes. But all right, thank you everybody for tuning in. I will clip this and have it on YouTube tomorrow morning and have the TikTok up of Emily calling me a piece of shit. So hope you all have a great day. Enjoy the evening. I got to go to the bathroom. Bye-bye.
I love you, speaker.